My fiancé's friends joked that she had a backup fiancé if I messed things up. I chuckled. Clever move. Then I strolled over to the backup, handed him the $100 engagement ring, and said, "You're up, buddy. She's all yours." The stillness in the room was overwhelming. So here's the backstory. I'm a 32-year-old man who was engaged to Maya, 29. We had been together for 4 years and lived in my apartment. My name has been the only one on the lease for the last 18 months. We got engaged 6 months ago. The ring was a running joke between us. At an artisan fair upstate, we found a simple hammered sterling silver ring with a single clear cubic zirconia. It was beautifully crafted, but, well, it was just silver and a CZ. It was priced at exactly $100. Maya adored it, saying it suited us perfectly and that she didn't need a fancy diamond. She insisted we buy it with the promise of getting something real for our 5-year anniversary. I thought it was cool. It showed she was practical and not materialistic. Spoiler alert, I'm an idiot. Anyway, last night was our official engagement party. Just close friends, maybe 15 people squeezed into my apartment. The atmosphere felt strange all night. Maya was radiant, but whenever I got close, she'd find an excuse to drift away or be in a tight circle with her friends, Zara and Kim, whispering and laughing. Evan, her old college best friend, who had been around a lot lately for support, was practically glued to her side. I had brought it up before and got the classic, "You're just being paranoid." I'd never. He's like my brother. We were opening gifts. There was a nice blender, some towels, and then Zara, who had clearly enjoyed 3 or 4 glasses of Prosecco, stood up to make a toast. "To Maya and Liam," she slurred, raising her glass. Everyone cheered. Seriously, to Maya, the smartest woman I know. More cheers. I mean, she's got it all figured out. "A great job, a great guy," she winked at me. I smiled. "And she's so clever, she even has a backup plan, right, Evan?" The room fell quiet, but not completely silent. It was that awkward intake of breath from 15 people at once. I glanced at Maya. She was bright red, but she wasn't looking at me. She was smiling at Evan. A coy, please smile. Evan, the absolute jerk, smirked back and raised his glass to her. Always Maya Bean. Zara, completely oblivious, continued. "I always tell her if Liam ever messes up, Evan is on the bench ready to go. It's our little joke." My stomach dropped. It felt like a scene from a movie where the sound cuts out and a high-pitched whine fills the air. Every little red flag from the last 6 months lined up in a mocking parade. The late nights she claimed were with the girls, but her phone's location showed she was in Evan's neighborhood. The constant texting, which she hid by flipping her phone over. The brother lunches that lasted 3 hours. The way she'd stopped discussing wedding venues. They were all staring at me, waiting for my reaction to the joke. So I gave them one. I let out a loud, genuine laugh. "Zara, that's brilliant," I said, standing up. "Honestly, Maya, I'm impressed. A backup plan. That's just smart risk management. Always good to have a plan B." Maya's smile faltered, her eyes narrowing. "Liam, what are you?" "No, seriously," I said, raising my hands. I walked over to the coat rack where my jacket was. I reached into the inner pocket and pulled out the little velvet box with the $100 ring. I had taken it off her finger earlier to clean it for the party. I crossed the room right past Maya and stopped in front of Evan. He was still half smirking, looking confused. I held out the box. He just stared at it. "Tag in, buddy," I said, my voice steady. "She's all yours." I didn't just hand it to him. I opened his limp hand and dropped the box into his palm. The silence that followed was deafening. You could have heard a pin drop on the carpet. Zara's mouth hung open. Maya's face had gone from rosy red to a sickly pale white. "Party's over, everyone," I said, raising my voice for the entire room to hear. "Thanks for coming. Please leave." Maya shrieked, finally finding her voice. "What are you doing?" "It was a joke. A stupid joke. Wasn't it?" I looked her straight in the eye. "Was it a joke when you were at his apartment last Tuesday, or the weekend I went to my parents'?" Her mouth snapped shut. I saw Evan's eyes widen. Oh snap. He didn't know I knew. "Who cares?" "Everyone out now," I said, moving to the door and holding it open. People scrambled to grab their coats and shoes, avoiding eye contact. It was as if a bomb had detonated. Zara and Kim were trying to guide a sobbing Maya toward the door, but she was resisting. "I'm not leaving," she yelled. "This is my home. You can't do this. It's my apartment, Maya." "You're not on the lease," I said, my voice flat. "You, Zara, Kim, and especially you back up. Get out." Evan looked like he wanted to be anywhere else on earth. He placed the ring box on the side table and practically bolted out the door. Maya, Zara, and Kim were the last ones. "You're a monster, Liam," Zara spat. "You're hysterical over nothing," Kim added. Maya just stared at me, tears streaming down her face. "You're throwing away 4 years over a joke." "No, Maya," I said, keeping the door open. "I'm saving myself a lifetime of being someone's plan A while they auditioning for plan B. Now get out." She finally left. I shut the door, locked the deadbolt, and put the chain on. That was 2 hours ago. My phone has been buzzing constantly, filled with messages from her friends, and even her mom, who must have heard the twisted, "Liam's a psycho" version of events. I haven't read any of them. I'm just sitting in my living room surrounded by half-eaten snacks and discarded gift bags. I picked up the ring box from the table. I'm just staring at it. Best $100 I ever spent. Update 1. 3 days later. Hey Reddit. Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for all the support and mostly good advice. My DMs are a mess, but the solidarity helps. I feel less like I'm going crazy. So, the last 72 hours have been a roller coaster. The night of the party, the banging on my door started about 10 minutes after I locked it. It was Maya, Evan, the backup, and Zara. They were shouting, "Maya, Liam, open the door. You're being insane. You embarrassed me. We're not leaving until you talk to her. You controlling jerk. Dude, just come out. You're making her cry." I just sat on my couch, put on my noise-canceling headphones, and started a new game. After about 20 minutes of their yelling and banging, I took my headphones off, called the non-emergency police line, and reported a group of intoxicated individuals I had just kicked out of a party. I told them they were refusing to leave my property and causing a disturbance. I put the phone on speaker and turned up the volume. The dispatcher's voice, "Sir, are you in immediate danger?" was loud enough to be heard through the door. The pounding stopped. I heard panicked whispers. "He's calling the cops. Oh my God, let's go. Maya, come on. He's crazy." By the time I saw the patrol car lights flashing through my window, they were long gone. The text onslaught began. My phone was buzzing with notifications. The next morning, I finally read them. It was a masterclass in manipulation. Maya sent over 80 texts and 15 missed calls. How could you do that to me in front of everyone? It was a joke. A stupid joke. You have serious trust issues. Fine, I'm at Evans. Are you happy now? You drove me to him. You're throwing away 4 years of memories. My mom is horrified. She can't believe you'd be so cruel. I'm coming to get my stuff tomorrow. We're going to talk. You didn't even let me explain. Evan is just a friend. You twisted everything. Zara texted me. You're a psycho. Plain and simple. Maya is destroyed. She loves you. You're a monster. I hope you're happy alone. Kim said, Dude, you really overreacted. It was a joke. You humiliated Maya for no reason. Not cool. My response? I didn't reply. Not to a single text. Instead, I got to work. I blocked all of them. Maya, Evan, Zara, Kim, even Maya's mom, who texted me saying, Maya is a good girl. Whatever you think happened, you're wrong. Call her. I had a locksmith at my door at 8 a.m. sharp. I got a new high-security deadbolt and a new knob lock. It cost me $280. Worth it. Packing. I spent all of yesterday packing her things. Every single item. Every tube of lipstick, every pair of shoes, all her clothes, her toiletries. I was methodical. I found things I'd bought her, little notes I'd written. That part was tough. I can't lie. I had a moment. I sat on the closet floor for about 10 minutes feeling empty. For years. But the anger returned quickly. I found a little framed photo of her and Evan from college on her desk. I packed that too. The furniture situation was tricky. She had 3 main pieces: a big antique-style vanity her aunt gave her, a bookshelf, and a $700 ergonomic chair I paid for on my credit card 6 months ago. She promised to reimburse me in installments, but had paid exactly $0. Confrontation round 2. Around 4 p.m. yesterday, the banging started again. I looked through the peephole. It was just Maya this time, looking furious. I opened the door with the chain on. Liam, let me in. My key doesn't work. I know, I said. I changed the locks. You what? You can't do that. This is my home. I have rights. No, Maya. It's my apartment. You're not on the lease. You were a guest. You're not welcome anymore. A guest? I've lived here for 2 years. You can't just evict me. I can, and I did. We're broken up. You can't break up with me over a joke. I'm getting my stuff. I've packed your personal belongings. They're in boxes by the door. Are you kidding? You're unbelievable. Open this door. No. You can schedule a time to pick up your boxes. You'll have 30 minutes. You can take what's in the entryway. That's it. Her face turned purple. What about my furniture? My vanity? My chair? The vanity and bookshelf are yours. The chair, I paused. The chair I paid $700 for. You agreed to pay me back, and you haven't. Pay me the $700, and you can have the chair. That's extortion. You're stealing from me. I need it. Then you should have paid for it or not had a backup fiancé. I'll call the cops. I'll tell them you're stealing my property. Please do. I'd love to show them the lease and my credit card statement for the chair. Explain to them how your joke got you kicked out. Go ahead. I'll wait. She stared at me, tears starting, but they were angry tears. You'll regret this, Liam. You have no idea. She stormed off, dialing her phone. So that's where I am. I've got 14 boxes of her stuff stacked in my entryway. I'm waiting for the police to show up for a theft report. I'm also half expecting a brick through my window. This is a nightmare. But oddly, I feel lighter and calmer. The anxiety that had built up for months is gone. Just clarity and a $700 chair that's actually really comfortable. Update 2. 2 weeks later. This saga keeps getting more ridiculous. The entitlement is unreal. The police visit. So Maya followed through on her threat. 2 days after my last update, 2 police officers knocked on my door. I saw them coming through the peephole, so I was prepared. Maya and Evan, the backup, were waiting on the curb by their car like a little victim and hero combo. I opened the door. Officer 1 was older and looked tired. Sir, we received a call about a domestic dispute. A Miss Maya? Hello, officers. There's no dispute. My ex-fiancé is outside. I broke up with her last week, and I've asked her to leave. Maya, she yelled. He locked me out. He stole my stuff. He has my expensive chair. Officer 1 sighed deeply. I'm too old for this. Officer 2 said, Sir, you understand that if she's a resident, you can't just lock her out. That's an illegal eviction. I fully understand, officer, which is why I have my lease right here. I handed him the printed lease. My name is the only one on it. She was my guest. Her driver's license and bills go to her parents' house. She never legally lived here. Officer 2 scanned the document. Officer 1 looked at Maya, then back at me. Okay, but she has property in the apartment. Yes, she does. 14 boxes of it right here in the entryway. I gestured behind me. I've repeatedly offered to let her schedule a pickup. She refused and demanded full access to the apartment, which I am not comfortable with. She's lying. He's keeping my work chair. It's worth $700. Sir, what about the chair? Yes, the chair is a disputed item. I purchased it on my credit card. I handed him the credit card statement with the charge highlighted. She agreed to pay me back and never did. I've told her she can have it as soon as she pays me the $700 I'm owed. As far as I'm concerned, it's my chair until I'm reimbursed. The rest of her stuff, her clothes, the vanity, and the bookshelf are right here. She can take it right now. The cops glanced at each other. Officer 1 spoke into his radio. Dispatch, this is a civil matter, property dispute. He looked back at me. Sir, we can't force you to give her the chair. That would fall under small claims court, but we can supervise a civil standby so she can retrieve her undisputed property. Are you okay with that? Absolutely. Thank you, officer. The pickup. The cops walked down and got Maya and Evan. The next 20 minutes were the most awkward and tense moments of my life. The 2 cops stood in my open doorway while I stood in the living room. Evan and Maya had to walk back and forth, taking the 14 boxes, the disassembled bookshelf, and the vanity, which was a hassle. Maya was sobbing the entire time. Sobs, hiccups, the whole performance. Evan just looked angry and kept glaring at me. Evan muttered as he picked up the last box. You're a real piece of work, man. Just give her the chair. You're welcome to Venmo me the $700 and take it yourself. Officer 1 barked a short laugh. Evan's face turned bright red. He grabbed the box and stormed out. This isn't over, Liam. You're a thief. Okay, Maya. Have a good night. I closed the door. The cops gave me a nod and left. The new dirty trick. I thought that was it. I really did. I was wrong. The entitlement took a new, more dangerous turn. Yesterday, I got a call from my landlord, Mark. Hey, Liam. Weird question, but is everything okay over there? Hey, Mark. Yeah, why? Well, I'm asking because I've received 3 anonymous calls to the management office in the last 24 hours. All from concerned tenants. My blood ran cold. Concerned about what? The first call was about constant screaming and arguments. The second was about a strange chemical smell from your vents. The one I just got 10 minutes ago was about suspected illegal drug activity and a lot of strange men coming and going. I couldn't speak. Look, Liam, you've been a great tenant for 5 years. I know this is ridiculous. I know you. But you have to understand, the corporate office freaks out about this. Drug activity is a huge red flag. They've already told me I have to schedule a formal unit inspection for next week. If I get one more call, they'll push for an eviction notice based on violating the community safety clause. This wasn't just a smear campaign. This was an attack on my home and my life. She was trying to get me evicted. Mark, it's my ex. I swear to you, she's retaliating because I kicked her out. Well, it's a long story, but it's all lies. I believe you. I really do. But my hands are tied. I have to do the inspection. Please, whatever this is, make it stop. I don't want to lose you as a tenant, but they'll go over my head. I hung up, and for the first time, I felt genuinely scared. This wasn't about a chair anymore. This was a burn-it-all-down tactic. I'm not a wealthy guy, but I'm not foolish either. I immediately called a local lawyer's office and paid $350 for a 1-hour consultation and service. I explained everything to the lawyer, the backup joke, the police report, which I had a copy of, and the calls to my landlord. The lawyer looked serious. She said this is classic vindictive ex behavior. Her advice? A cease and desist. She is drafting a formal cease and desist letter that will be sent via certified mail to Maya at her parents' house and to Evan and Zara, whose addresses I unfortunately know. Documentation. The letter will detail the incident, the false police report, and the harassment campaign via anonymous calls to my landlord. It will state that any further contact, direct or indirect, or any more anonymous calls will be treated as evidence in an upcoming civil suit for harassment, defamation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. I'm to send a formal written email to my landlord, CCNG his corporate office, summarizing my breakup and stating that I'm being targeted by a campaign of harassment and false reports from my ex-fiancé as retaliation. I'll attach a copy of the cease and desist letter to show I'm handling it legally. So that's my life now. I'm out $350 for a lawyer and $280 for a locksmith. My landlord thinks my apartment is a drug den, and I have to face a formal inspection next week. All because I wouldn't play along with a joke. The nerve of these people to be in the wrong and then try to ruin my life as punishment for standing my ground. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just cold. This isn't a breakup. It's a war I didn't ask for, but I'm going to finish it. Final update. 2 months later, it's over. Thank goodness it's finally over. I'm sitting in my apartment. It's clean and quiet, and I passed the inspection with flying colors. Mark, my landlord, was very apologetic about it. Here's the final domino effect. The cease and desist letter. My lawyer sent the letters via certified mail. All 3 were signed for. And just like that, silence. The calls to my landlord stopped instantly. The concerned tenant vanished. It's amazing what a letter with a real lawyer's letterhead can do. The threat of a civil harassment suit was enough to make the group scatter. My email to the corporate office with the cease and desist attached also worked. I received a very polite email back, saying they considered the false reports to be a closed matter. The backup bails. This was the part one didn't see coming. About a week after the letters went out, I received a text from an unknown number. Hey, it's Evan. Listen, I'm out. This whole thing is crazy. Maya is nuts. I just stared at the text, not replying. About 10 minutes later, another came. She's been staying with me, and she's a nightmare. She wanted me to call your landlord again and say I saw you with a gun. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting arrested for her. I told her to leave. I'm done. Sorry for my role in this. So, the backup plan fell apart the moment it involved any real risk or personal cost. He was happy to be the smug side piece, but he wasn't willing to be an accomplice to a serious crime. The $100 ring was apparently too high a price. The final boss, Maya's mom. Life was peaceful for almost a month. I was just healing. Then last night, my phone rang from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello, Liam. It's Helen, Maya's mom. My blood pressure instantly spiked. Helen, I'm surprised to hear from you. Yes. Well, Liam, I know things ended badly. I'm not calling to rehash that. Okay. What can I do for you? Look, Maya, she's not doing well. She had to move back home. Evan, well, he was not a nice boy. She's just so distraught. She's trying to get her freelance work going again, but she trailed off. I stayed silent. It's her back, Liam. She's in so much pain. She can't sit at her desk for more than an hour. That ergonomic chair you have? She said it was the only one that ever worked for her. I almost laughed. It was so pathetic. After everything, after trying to get me evicted, the play was to send her mom to guilt me over a chair. Helen, I'm sorry to hear her back hurts. That's unfortunate. She said you were just keeping it out of spite. I'm keeping it because I paid $700 for it on my credit card. She agreed to pay me back and never did. I'm not running a charity, and I'm definitely not giving a $700 gift to someone who tried to get me kicked out of my home. There was a long sigh from her end. Fine. How much? $700. That's ridiculous. It's a used chair. That's the price. It's what I paid. It's what she agreed to pay. Honestly, Helen, I'm being generous. I should be charging for storage and emotional distress. Another long, angry silence. I could hear her breathing. Can I Venmo you? I blinked. Yes. Yes, you can. My Venmo is Advent. And you'll give her the chair? You send me $700, and I'll put the chair on my porch. You can send whoever you want to pick it up. I don't want to see her. Fine. She hung up. I swear to you, not 60 seconds later, a Venmo notification popped up. Helen paid you $700. Note, for the chair. I rolled the very comfortable, fully paid for chair out onto my porch. I texted her, it's outside. I watched through the window. An hour later, an old sedan I didn't recognize pulled up. Maya got out of the passenger side, ran up, grabbed the chair, shoved it in the back seat, and the car sped off. She didn't even glance at my apartment. Conclusion. So that's it. It's done. The group scattered because it wasn't fun anymore. The backup bailed because he's a coward. And the princess is back at her parents' castle, minus her pride but plus her ergonomic chair, paid for by her mom. I heard through a mutual friend, who actually apologized to me, that Zara and Maya aren't friends anymore. Apparently, Maya blamed Zara for the whole mess, saying her stupid joke ruined her life. The lack of self-awareness is astounding. As for me, it cost me. I'm out $280 for the locksmith and $350 for the lawyer. That's $630. But I made $700 on the chair, so I'm net $70. Emotionally, it cost a lot more. It's hard to trust my own judgment. For years, and I never saw the entitlement until it was right in front of me. But I'm good. The apartment is mine. It's quiet. I'm not dating anyone. I'm just enjoying the peace. I'm not a hero. I'm not a badass. I'm just a guy who finally learned how to set a boundary. Oh, and the $100 ring? The box is in the trash. I took the ring itself and tossed it into one of those donate-your-old jewelry bins at the mall. I hope it goes to someone who truly deserves it. Thanks for listening, Reddit. Peace out.